Over the last 5 years, Instacart has been relentlessly gutting shoppers' wages, exploiting its improperly classified workforce, and outright stealing shoppers' wages and tips on its path to its highly anticipated public offering. All these workers who have been with Instacart for a while are all saying that the amount of money that they make has dropped about 50% over the last 5 years. Fed up Instacart shoppers ask customers to delete the Instacart app. The shoppers have had enough. A group of contractors for the grocery delivery app Instacart published an open letter on Monday asking for customers to immediately delete the app. At issue, according to the nonprofit Gig Workers Collective, are long-standing pay and safety concerns. Quote,
Hey, Hannibal here. Welcome back to the Hannibal is Hungry YouTube channel. We're going to talk about Instacart. I know I don't talk about Instacart a lot, but in this video, we're going to talk about a campaign that was launched yesterday, hashtag Delete Instacart. We have a group called the Gig Workers Collective, representing over 13,000 Instacart shoppers, looking to connect with their customers, the Instacart customers, to delete the Instacart app in a show of solidarity towards some of the practices Instacart is doing to keep their wages low, and Instacart has not met any of their concerns, haven't met any of their demands. The collective of shoppers asks that customers refrain from reinstalling the app until 5 demands are met. They're asking to be paid by individual order, not by batch of orders, to reintroduce item-based commissions, to continue the rating system doesn't punish shoppers for issues beyond their control, to continue to provide occupational death benefits, and to make the default tip at least 10% up from the current 5%. Now, as for me, I still have the Instacart app on my phone. I used to shop. I did a few batches myself, but I use Instacart on a weekly basis. It's one of my most favorite services to use. As long as you tip over 20%, you get your stuff pretty fast. I never had to worry about waiting a long time to get my orders. I tip pretty well. Sometimes I'm so surprised how quickly everything comes to my house. Hashtag I'm lazy. But a lot of Instacart shoppers are upset. They're upset about the decreased pay. They're upset about basically everything that happens with gig apps, what happens with DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats, every single app these days. People are complaining about something or another, right? We're upset about the pay. We're upset about the support. So Instacart is not necessarily anything unusual, but I do believe that being a personal shopper should get tipped more. They should get more money. They're personally shopping for people. They're carrying heavy loads of water and other kind of liquids and all types of bulk items where a person that picks up food don't have to deal with all that stuff. Communicating with the customer, trying to replace items, trying to suggest items. It's a more of a true workload. And when people are doing it, especially if it's a big piece of the income, and they're not being answered by the representatives of Instacart, it's a big problem. Right now, Instacart has a new CEO, just got on the job. Many shoppers probably had optimism, high hopes that a new CEO can come in and try to clean up some of the issues that Instacart has, but unfortunately, it hasn't happened yet. So we're gonna read the letter. It's a 20-minute read. I'm gonna put the link in the description below. We're not gonna read everything. We're just gonna try to highlight the 5 points that they're looking for Instacart to change. For the past 5 years, shoppers have repeatedly sounded alarm regarding Instacart's misappropriation of tips, theft of tips, unsafe working conditions, continuously and increasingly devastating pay cuts, and more. Instacart responded by completely ignoring the concerns of its shoppers, retaliating against shoppers for speaking out, or offering extremely minimum tokens of appeasement accompanied by insincere apologies for its actions. In July, shoppers were optimistic for the better treatment when Instacart hired a new CEO, Fiji Simo. The optimism, however, was short-lived, and it has been abundantly clear that Instacart remains true to its morally corrupt nature. It will never do the right thing by its shoppers. We're going to read their 5 main points. Number 1, Instacart shoppers must be paid by order, not by batch. In 2019, when Approva Meta publicly apologized for supplemental pay with tips in the response of our protest, the company lowered the base pay floor to $10 to $7. But that's not even the worst part. That $7 figure could cover up to 3 orders at once. If we shop a single order, the base pay will be $7. But if we shop 3 orders at once, the base pay will be $7 for the lot. Instead of shopper fulfilling 3 orders at a total of a $30 base, we do it for a $7 base. This is effectively a 76% pay cut to the base pay, and it is unacceptable. Number 2, Instacart must reintroduce item commission. When Instacart lowered our base pay, it also removed item commission. The $7 base pay was supposed to be the floor that would raise depending on the size of the order. However, nearly every order now pays $7 regardless of the size. A single 2-item order pays $7, and a triple 50-item order pays $7. Item commission ensures that workers are paid for their time, since the more items are in the order, the longer it takes to fill. Number 3, Instacart's rating system can no longer unfairly punish shoppers for issues outside of their control. For example, the company has an issue with a customer fraud that is unfairly impacting workers. Instacart's lacking fraud detection ability and policies make it very easy for customers to get free groceries by falsely marking items as missing/damaged, with the blame constantly falling on the shopper. Even when we provide photos of deliveries, Instacart can either lower our rating, which prevents us from seeing good orders for weeks, or deactivate us from the platform entirely. A single 4-star rating is enough to affect our pay for weeks. There's even a Facebook group of 2,000 of these shoppers, majority of who were deactivated for this reason. Instacart's inability to properly investigate customer complaints should not be result in blame unfairly placed on shoppers. Number 4, Instacart shoppers need occupational death benefits. Working for Instacart is not safe, and workers must be protected on the job. The last 18 months have been especially dangerous for Instacart shoppers. The company refused to provide sick pay for shoppers who have tested positive for COVID, even when one shopper was on a ventilator. We had to walk off the job in order for Instacart to address this and change their policy. Coronavirus aside, shopper Lynn Murray was killed while shopping for a customer during a mass shooting. While Instacart corporate employees spend the last 18 months working from home, shoppers were risking their lives while the company did nothing to protect them. Instead, they quadrupled their workforce with desperate people in need of income, using them to bring down pay and replace any shopper who knew their worth. The default tip must be raised to at least 10% for each single order. Instacart has been playing with our tips since 2016, first replacing them with a service fee that the company said went to us, even though they pocketed it, and then outright stealing our tips, then using our tips to supplement pay, and more recently testing out a user interface without a default tip set. Instacart shoppers are bleeding out of both ends. The base pay is now far lower than it has been, and the company is discouraging customers from tipping. A 5% default tip is abysmal when paired with Instacart's low pay. There's a lot to unpack there. It seems like Instacart is doing basically the same thing the rest of these companies are doing. They're trying to gain as much profit as possible by cutting some of the benefits. Flood the market with tons and tons of new labor. Unfortunately, I don't see Instacart changing any of these policies anytime soon because just like these other tech giants, they are in a competitive, brutal competition of the marketplace. Instacart now has to fight DoorDash, Uber Eats. Those two behemoths are trying to get into the grocery space. What can Instacart do right now to make things better? Now again, can they work on the rating system, get a better rating system, truly investigate what's going on instead of believing everything the customer is saying? Because yes, customers do lie. Those things could be changed immediately. Instacart should fix or revamp their fraud policy. Figure out a better way to do it. 4 out of these 5 demands are all basically trying to get Instacart to pay more money. And I just don't see that happening anytime soon. Fiji Simo, the CEO, I think a lot of optimism was brought in. It looks like she's probably going through the numbers and realizing that the chances of anyone getting paid more money is just, in my opinion, unlikely. Instacart has to compete with the likes of DoorDash, Grubhub, Walmart, especially with Kroger. All these big giant behemoths are trying to eat up the grocery marketplace. People have less money, so the chances of Instacart charging more to get groceries delivered seems unlikely because they do not want the customer to leave Instacart to order groceries from another source if it's cheaper. What do you guys think about those demands? Were they fair, not fair? I'm a big fan of Instacart, but tell me what you guys think about these demands. I'm gonna put the link of the letter in the description below. Thank you for taking time to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.